She speaks French like we do, Kelly.
I mean, that is, what are the chances you would knock on his door by accident?
Poor Emily.
That's the scene from Emily in Paris. So tell us about Emily in Paris and what she stumbles onto.
Emily in Paris was a dream job for me. It seems ironic to be playing an American in Paris at a time when that's actually not possible. But Emily is a mid-20s young woman who is moving to Paris to work in a French marketing firm. She knows nothing about the culture or the language, and it's all about the journey she goes on and kind of finding herself in this new job and the culture clash that comes with it, and the romance, the friendships. And ultimately, for me, it's more a story of self-love in the city of love.
Wow. I think we all want to be Emily.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Sounds great.
Have you, now being an American in Paris, do things get lost in translation, would you say, often?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I grew up speaking French, but then stopped practicing. So I wasn't versed enough when I got there. And to play a character that hardly understands the language at all, to then on weekends try and do it myself like I used to, it was very difficult for me. So there were like miscommunications, but also things that happened to Emily happened to me. Like I lost hot water for 2 weeks. My apartment didn't have heating. My elevator stopped working. Like there was construction everywhere. You know, so there were these moments where I actually thought to myself and asked Darren, I was like, are you guys planning this so that I have more empathy for Emily, or is this just really what happens? Which was kind of ironic, but it was such a fun experience. And I mean, I feel so grateful even more for the opportunity to have been there as a local for 4 months, because now all I want to do is travel, you know,
Yeah,
it seems impossible.
Let us live vicariously through you. What sort of fun, amazing thing or meal did you have while you were there shooting?
God, I mean, honestly, for me, the luckiest thing about shooting there was the access to the incredible locations that we got. We shut down bridges and restaurants like Cafe de Flore and Ralph's, and we got to shoot all night in the Paris Opera House, which was so absurd. Like I'm running around the Paris Opera House in hotel slippers and this gown, just like soaking in the murals and the architecture and thinking, what is this? You know, and even the crew that were born in France and some from Paris said that they'd never experienced the city that way, because you just don't get the access like that. And especially now I watch things back and I go, oh my God, there's too many people there. Or like, don't touch, or like, don't do the French 3-kiss hello, you know, and it seems a world gone by to have been able to experience it like that.
I'm just dreaming of escargot right now.
I know.
I just want escargot for brunch.
Do you think you'll go back maybe for your honeymoon someday?
Well, my fiance did come out a few times, and we got to roam the streets and get lost, you know, on the cobblestone little alleyways. That's what I miss the most, is just losing track of time and like losing yourself in a foreign place and not having everything be so intention based. You know, obviously now we're kind of, you think, okay, where am I going? For how long? When do I come back? What am I doing? And the idea of being in Paris and just like taking a scooter and going to the museums and eating, and it just, even taking the Eurostar to different countries like Bruges and London, and everything's just so much more local there and so romantic. So hopefully we get to go to a season 2, which would be so lucky, and I'd be so happy to. But I don't know what that looks like. You know, it's a very different world now. So I'm just keeping fingers crossed.
I took a scooter around the Arc de Triomphe and in the roundabout, and I realized that if you're on the inside, no one lets you out. They keep making you go around and around and around. I go, beep, 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 beep. Emily in Paris premieres tomorrow on Netflix. Great to see you, Lily. Congrats.
Great to see you,
So good to see you guys too. Bye. Take care. Stay safe.